Hi, I'm attorney Joshua Prince, Chief Counsel at the Firearms Industry Consulting Group, a division of Prince Law Offices PC. Today I want to discuss the impact of the Directorate of Defense Trade Control, or DDTC's, new guidance to the firearms industry as to who needs to register with DDTC under the ITAR regulations. A lot of the industry has been put into shock when about 2 weeks ago the DDTC issued new guidance regarding ITAR and who needs to register. While many of the aspects found in that guidance are issues that I've already addressed in previous videos as well as previous blog articles where I've told industry members that unfortunately, under the Arms Export Control Act, which is implemented through the International Trafficking in Arms Regulations, or ITAR, pretty much if you manufacture any firearm or firearm part, you're going to have to register. There is one type of firearm that does not constitute a defense article, and that's a shotgun with a barrel length over 18 inches, an overall length over 26 inches, and which has a sporting purpose. Beyond that, if you manufacture even just a barrel, which would not require a federal firearms license or FFL, you still must register with the DDTC. The issue with registering with the DDTC is that it's $2,250 a year just to register. That doesn't include any type of export permits or that. And for years, a number of people argued that, look, we're not exporting, we're just a manufacturer of firearms, so we don't need to register under ITAR. And I've put out a number of blog articles saying that that's untrue, both under the Arms Export Control Act as well as under ITAR. And you can find those articles on our blog, blog.princelaw.com. I've been writing about that probably for about 4 to 6 years now. So anyway, getting back to the guidance that was recently issued by DDTC, a lot of that is consistent with the Arms Export Control Act as well as the ITAR. However, there are a number of issues that have arisen that really could affect gunsmiths because I truly believe that DDTC has gone beyond the scope of AESA or the Arms Export Control Act as well as ITAR in providing this guidance. So one of the issues that is addressed in the guidance is quote-unquote occasional assembly of firearm parts and kits that do not require cutting, drilling, or machining. Well, what do they mean by occasional? There's nothing under AESA, the Arms Export Control Act, or ITAR that would suggest that the amount of assembly that you do can change whether you have to register or not. In fact, there's nothing under AESA or ITAR that suggests that merely placing parts into a lower receiver constitutes manufacturing. Now, part of the issue is that AESA and ITAR neither have an actual definition of manufacturing. So, although DDTC has promised, I think for about 4 years now, to provide us with a definition of manufacturing, and it has entered into rulemaking to add other definitions, it still has not provided any actual definition of manufacturing. So this becomes very difficult for attorneys to advise clients on, and generally we have to take a more protected approach in giving any guidance or advice in that regard. So again, getting back to the issue, what does DDTC mean by occasional? There should not be that word within that sentence because whether it's frequent, occasional, all the time, AESA and ITAR don't address that, don't require registration merely for that, although DDTC is now taking the position, presumably, that if you do it more than occasionally, you must register. The other issue that has arisen for gunsmiths is that they said that firearm repairs involving one-for-one drop-in replacement parts that do not require any cutting, drilling, milling, or machining for installation do not require registration. So everyone says, oh, this is great, okay, good, they're protecting us. Until you consider weapon systems such as the Colt 1911. There aren't many replacement parts that fit in without some tuning. So what happens now in that situation where the gunsmith does have to mill a little bit, does have to file, hone, make it a little smoother, all those things now are drawn into question as to whether gunsmiths need to register under ITAR. And DDTC seemingly is taking the position that you do. And remember, that's $2,250 a year. The other issue that was raised in this guidance is that repairs involving replacement parts that do not improve the accuracy, caliber, or other aspects of the firearm operation do not require registration. Now, any gunsmith knows that many of your customers are going to be coming in because they want you to put maybe a new barrel in their firearm so that they can improve the accuracy. And it could be even a drop-in. What happens for that Colt 1911 where someone wants a more accurate barrel installed in it? Does that now constitute manufacturing? DDTC seems to be taking the position it does. More importantly, even outside the scope of gunsmiths, what happens when you as an individual replace your own barrel? DDTC in its guidance is saying that a single time where you manufacture something requires registration. That's going to be a serious issue if we're going to take the position that now any individual who does any type of work on his or her firearm to improve the accuracy, caliber, or function now results in registration. Many of you know with the AR-15, there's almost every caliber that exists, you can change it to function in that caliber. What happens when you as an individual decide, you know what, bought this as a 5.56 223 rifle, I think I'm going to throw a 22 kit in it. Does that now require registration because you're changing the caliber of that firearm? DDTC's guidance seems to suggest that it may. And that's how absurd this guidance really is. But one of the more important issues, one that I think just goes way beyond the scope and has really been to the surprise of many gunsmiths, is their position that if you thread a barrel so that someone could attach a silencer or a muzzle brake or something like that, that requires registration because you're milling that barrel. I think that's absolutely obscene. I don't see how that improves the accuracy. I might get some hate mail from some silencer manufacturers, but I think most agree that if anything, when you add a silencer, it's generally going to degrade a little bit, not major, but degrade a little bit the accuracy. It's at least going to change your point of impact. That I don't think there can really be much dispute. In fact, some silencers do have a way in which you can actually tune it to change where the point of impact is so that you don't have that issue. But, you know, again, I seriously see an issue with that because I don't see how you're improving the accuracy, caliber, or, you know, other aspect of the firearm operation. It's really not there. All it is doing is allowing the installation of that silencer, no different than installing a scope or other accessory that DDTC in this guidance has said does not constitute manufacturing. So I think that's important. Also, I've discussed this in the past, but I think it's important to bring up because, unfortunately, very few FFLs realize this. If you do purchase an 80% lower receiver and you're going to mill it out and make it for a customer, they are saying that this does constitute manufacturing of a firearm. Even if your customer brings into you as a gunsmith that 80% lower receiver and asks you, you know, I want it all engraved, I want everything done correctly, and I need you to mill this out, that's an issue. And ATF has even taken the position that you know, you can't go to a business that offers a CNC machine to allow that person to be able to make that 80% receiver without that machine shop being a manufacturer of firearms, having the appropriate licensing, bringing it into its books and out and all that fun stuff. But that's really, again, beyond the scope of this article. Why I'm touching on that is that here the issue is that if you do any of that, you are absolutely going to have to register with DDTC. Any type of milling or machining on a firearm does require registration. Unfortunately, I don't agree with it, but I think at least that aspect is consistent with AISA and ITAR, as much as I don't like them, and I think it's needs to be reviewed by the Congress. It would say that, you know, even if you manufacture a trigger, you have to register. You know, any item that is a firearm part does require registration. Now, there's been a push for a number of years, thankfully through NSSF, they've really been pushing hard for this, to move categories 1 through 3 of the U.S. munitions list, which is firearms and ammunition, over under commerce. The benefit to Gunsmiths, if it moves over under commerce, is that you will no longer have any type of registration fee. There is no registering with commerce. There's no $2,250 a year to register. So that would be very beneficial. Unfortunately, the current administration, the Obama administration, depending on when you're viewing this video, has taken the position that they will not move those items over under commerce. It's unfortunate because that would really help these issues out, because at that point Gunsmiths wouldn't really be concerned about it. We'd still have, these items being controlled and making sure that the tech data relating to them can't be disclosed, but there wouldn't be any registration fee. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please click the like button. Please share it with your friends. If you have ideas for other videos that you'd like to see us do, please leave it in the comments below or email us, and hope you have a great day. Thanks.